Grayson's replacement turned anti-hero with a fine appreciation for leather jackets. Hey ladies and gents, I'm Kwing and welcome to our Let's Play channel. Because you requested it, behold Jason Todd, aka Red Hood. Though because I want to dive into Jason's history in more detail for Arkham Knight this summer, I'll just be doing a Cliff Note version of the character for this LEGO lore. This minifigure will cost you about 250,000 studs and he can be found in Level 2 Breaking Bats during free play. Now Jason's abilities are similar to Hush from the past games. He uses two guns and has a grapple ability, plus acrobatic moves, and he can wall jump. That's about it. Now, did you know that Jason Todd first appeared in Batman number 357 in 1983? Well, he did, and he originally had blonde hair and was an acrobat orphan just like Grayson. He dyed his hair black in order to look like Robin and actually had a similar personality to Burt Ward's TV show Robin. After Barry Allen saves the multiverse and Wally West replaces him, Jason gets a new origin, though a bit darker. Batman first meets Jason in 1987 and he's trying to steal the tires right off the Batmobile. Talk about crazy! Jason's father is also a small-time crook that gets iced and Jason is left an orphan. After becoming Robin, Jason is impulsive, impatient, violent, arrogant, and full of rage. After learning Two-Face was responsible for slaying his own father, Robin nearly strangles Harvey Dent to death. Other cases where Jason Todd is Robin, there's a lot of evidence that he did destroy a lot of criminals. In fact, he even slayed a visiting dignitary's son who said he spooked the guy and the guy fell off the balcony, which Batman still doesn't believe. By December 1988, Jason Todd becomes one of the most unpopular DC characters at that time. In fact, DC plans a daring series called Death in the Family to deal with Robin's unpopularity, where Robin's fate was actually up to the readers. In the final issue where Jason is blown up by the Joker, it's up to the readers to call a hotline to see if he survives or not. The public called in and Jason doesn't live. There was actually a mass panic when this happened in the media and headlines across the country announced that Robin has been killed in comics. Though most assume it was actually Dick Grayson who died and not the new Robin, Jason Todd. So things got pretty messy for DC's PR guys for a while. The fact that Robin wasn't going to appear in the Tim Burton 1989 film didn't help things either. Fast forward to 2003. Jason returns, though disguised as Clayface, thanks to writer Jeff Loeb, in one of my favorite series called Hush. Todd holds Tim at knife point, calling him a pretender throughout the issue, and Batman beats Jason only to learn it's Clayface Johnny Williams, that firefighter who became Clayface. Though unknown to Batman, Jason and Clayface actually switch places before the fight, meaning Jason Todd is alive. Now you actually learn his history in the first book called Red Hood #1, where he worked with Ra's al Ghul, was resurrected by Talia, had a little love affair with her, even though it's essentially like his stepmom, sort of. Kind of. So it's a little weird. But anyway, we'll get into that in another video. Now, Red Hood appears in Gotham after the events of War Games, and if you know that, it's what happened to Stephanie Brown with Black Mask. He also declares a one-man war on Black Mask. Batman and Red Hood fight often during the Under the Hood storyline, and Jason even goes to visit his replacement at Titan's Tower, Tim Drake. Enraged that the Titans never placed a memorial for him, he nearly kills Tim in combat, then rips the R off his chest, calling him Pretender. Though he does admit that the kid is pretty good, and wondered how his life would have been if he lived and made friends with the Titans. Back in Gotham, Jason takes Joker hostage and beats him with a crowbar, like what happened to him, and leads Batman to Crime Alley for the final confrontation between the three. They have a fight, Joker gets loose and sets off bombs just like old times. And Jason goes missing even though Batman is crawling through the rubble looking for his former son. Jason returns during 1 year later as a lethal Nightwing in New York City, much to Dick's dismay. He also asks his older brother to become a team with him, so essentially, you know, pulling a Jingle All the Way reference. Later he gets kidnapped by mobsters and Grayson saves him. Jason leaves New York and tells Dick he still considers him family, even though all this crazy stuff happens. During the next storyline, Countdown, Jason is trying to come to terms with what his life is and, you know, being an anti-hero. He runs into Kyle Rayner and Donna Troy, and they go through some type of multiverse conspiracy, time traveling or something, I don't know. It's the Countdown series, it's weird. Maybe I'll get into it if Donna Troy is ever a figure in LEGO Batman 3, but eventually he returns to New Earth, which is, of course, the post-crisis world. And Jason gets in a fight with Tim again. Well, actually it was a squabble, but they did come to blows. And he gets arrested after getting accidentally shot by some thug that they were trying to apprehend. So Tim has him arrested. It's a family feud thing. So after Batman's apparent demise against Darkseid in Final Crisis, Jason returns to Gotham to claim his birthright and become Batman. Knowing that Dick will not honor the legacy, nor Tim or anybody else, Jason puts it up to himself to become the new Batman. Jason becomes a gun-toting crazy Batman and wipes out most of Gotham's crime at that time, scaring Gordon and most of GCPD more than Valley did when he was Batman, after Bane broke the bat. He shoots Damian Wayne and almost fatally wounds Tim Drake in Jason's own makeshift Batcave. Dick finds him, defeats Jason, who appears to fall to his death after being kicked off a subway car. After this, Nightwing becomes the Batman, and in one of the best runs of a Batman comic in the past 30 years. Realizing how much the city needs the Batman, he fires Tim and appoints Damian as his next Robin, and then goes on to be Batman for a couple years, even leading the Justice League. In the Batman and Robin comic series, which is an amazing comic series, by the way, Jason and his new sidekick Scarlet become the opposite to Batman and Robin, so Damian and Dick, though using lethal force sometimes. Also, Jason films most of his actions and becomes an internet sensation. The public thinks he's a hero more than Batman. Jason is almost killed by a villain called Flamingo though, and gets saved by Dick Grayson, which I'm still scratching my head why Dick did that. At the end of the book, while Jason's being arrested, like in Killing Joke, the interaction between Batman and the Joker, Dick is talking to Jason before the police arrive, and he says, "You should just, stop this." And Jason replies, "It's too late for me, Dick. This dung heap of a world had other plans." And then he gets arrested, and, Dick kind of smiles and is like, "Well, I guess we're gonna be mortal enemies then." And Jason's kind of like, "Well, I guess so." In Arkham, Jason refers to it as Batman's kennel of freaks and doesn't want to be there. He goes to prison, and then he ends up killing a bunch of people. I think about 100 people in prison. So eventually he winds up back in Arkham, he breaks out again, and his former sidekick Scarlet is kidnapped. Jason then calls Dick Grayson to help him save his adoptive daughter, sort of, and they succeed. As Jason is leaving Gotham by helicopter, he tells the dynamic duo, "Don't bother looking for me, guys, because I planted bombs all over Gotham. If you follow me, boom, it'll be your fault." Even after Bruce Wayne returns in the Return of Batman or whatever, no one knows if Jason was bluffing or telling the truth about the bombs. And it doesn't really matter because then Flashpoint happened, and this Jason goes bye-bye. As for in the New 52, well, Red Hood has actually gotten some of the best character development since his resurrection, which is amazing considering all the other characters got screwed. He works with Starfire and Roy Harper in a group called The Outsiders, and his books are actually a pretty fun read if you don't mind all the constant murder. It's actually funny because in this continuity, The Outsiders, or Titans, were a group that was originally led by Nightwing, and even Starfire admits that Dick Grayson is her one true love. And she's just kind of using Jason. Jason wears a bat on his chest, and he's considered part of Batman Incorporated, which is something he was not considered for the pre-52. He's also not a fan of Grayson in this continuity, and just like post-Crisis, Jason Todd and Nightwing don't really like each other. But unlike the pre-52, Jason actually develops a respect for Tim and works with him on occasion. He assists Batman during the death of the family and helps the family after Damian's demise. After the events of Forever Evil and Dick's sacrifice to save the entire world, Jason's personality has become a little bit lighter. Well, I mean, he still kills people, but he's a little bit nicer to the Bat family, and it's all because of his older brother's sacrifice. In fact, Jason Todd even goes to Apocalypse to help his adoptive father, Bruce Wayne, bring Damian back to life. He, along with Tim Drake and Barbara Gordon, also wear a type of Robin armor on their chest. Back at the Batcave, once Damian has been brought back to life, they hand in their R's smiling, all saying there can only be one Robin, and that's Damian Wayne. Still, what's really interesting is very soon both New Earth Red Hood and 52's Red Hood will meet soon in Convergence. As for other media, Jason appeared in a movie called Under the Hood, where instead of Superboy Prime's reality punch that brought him back to life, Ra's al Ghul's Lazarus Pit did the trick, though driving him a little insane, which you can kind of read in the Under the Hood storyline, though it still has some connection to something Infinite Crisis, I don't know. Just like in the New 52, Nightwing was around during Jason's return, And during the final confrontation between Batman, Jason, and the Joker, Jason is blown up again and presumed dead. Back in the Batcave, where Alfred is talking to Batman about whether or not he should remove Jason's uniform, Batman says even though Robin was his greatest failure, Jason Todd, having the memorial up proves nothing. And, you know, he's gonna keep it up no matter what. Jason Todd actually has a memorial in Young Justice following the 5-year later time skip, and he may or may not be Red X in Teen Titans Go, and the Titans shorts. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're done. Join me tomorrow as we look at Batcow. I know, right? I hope you enjoyed this quick look at Jason Todd. Join me this summer on my Nightwing 01 channel for the full episodic history of Red Hood, pre, post, and New 52 goodness, when the DLC for Arkham Knight releases this summer. Thanks for watching. Reminder, liking and sharing this video really does help me out a lot because YouTube is pretty crummy sometimes. In the comments section below, tell me who you want to see in the next LEGO Batman 3 character spotlight. Well, until we meet again, God bless and happy gaming. I'll be seeing you.